The story begins immediately after the events of Spider-Man Far From Home. Mysterio has just revealed Spider-Man's secret identity to the entire world, and now everyone knows that the man behind the mask is Peter Parker. But Mysterio doesn't stop there. Before his death, he releases edited footage that makes it look like Peter was responsible for the devastating drone attack in London, and that he deliberately ordered the attack himself. Within minutes, Peter's life is turned upside down. People gather outside his home, reporters chase him through the streets, and strangers begin accusing him of being a murderer. Peter and MJ try to escape the chaos by swinging through the city together. But even that doesn't give them any privacy. Everywhere they go, people recognize Peter. His secret life as Spider-Man is no longer a secret, and now his normal life is collapsing right along with it. The situation becomes even more serious when the Department of Damage Control begins investigating Peter and the London attack. Peter is questioned about the drones and Mysterio's death, while the authorities also bring in MJ and Ned because they were involved in the events surrounding Spider-Man. Peter insists that he didn't kill Mysterio and that the drones were never under his control. But proving that becomes difficult because the technology used in the attack came from Stark Industries. The evidence is confusing, and while Peter isn't formally charged with Mysterio's crimes, the public has already made up its mind. Peter Parker is now one of the most famous people in the world. And he isn't famous for being a hero. He's famous for being Spider-Man. To escape the constant attention, Peter and Aunt May move into Happy Hogan's apartment. Peter is desperate for things to return to normal, but normal life is becoming harder to find. When Peter returns to school, things aren't any better. Students surround him, photograph him, and argue about whether he's a hero or a criminal. Some people defend him while others openly hate him. Peter tries to ignore the attention, but it's impossible to focus on school when his entire personal life has become a public spectacle. Eventually, Peter, Ned, and MJ find a quiet place where they can talk about their future. Despite everything that's happening, the three friends have one thing they can still look forward to. College. They've all applied to MIT, and Peter dreams of starting the next chapter of his life there with Ned and MJ. But then the rejection letters arrive. Peter, Ned, and MJ are all rejected from MIT. And when they check the other colleges they've applied to, the situation is just as bad. Peter is devastated. He knows that Ned and MJ have worked hard for this, and now their futures are being affected because of his identity. Peter feels responsible, even though none of this was something he wanted. He can't accept that his friends are being punished for something that happened to him. Then Peter remembers someone who might be able to fix the problem. Dr. Strange. Peter goes to the Sanctum Sanctorum and asks Strange for help. He explains that ever since Mysterio exposed his identity, his entire life has fallen apart. His friends are being affected, his family is in danger, and he can't even go to college without his name becoming a problem. Peter asks Strange if there's any way to make everyone forget that he's Spider-Man. Strange initially refuses. He reminds Peter that manipulating reality and tampering with space-time is extremely dangerous. He's already done things like that before when the fate of the world was at stake, but Peter isn't asking him to save billions of people. He's asking him to fix his personal problems. Peter argues that it's not just about him. Ned and MJ are losing their futures because of Peter's identity. They haven't done anything wrong, yet they're being punished simply because they're his friends. Strange finally changes his mind. He tells Peter about a spell that can make people forget a specific memory. If it works, everyone will forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Peter is immediately relieved. But Strange warns him that once the spell begins, Peter can't keep changing the conditions. Peter promises. Strange takes him down into the Sanctum's basement and begins casting the spell. Magic fills the room as Strange starts manipulating reality. And then Peter begins thinking about the people in his life. He asks whether MJ will still remember him. Strange tells him that the spell has to apply to everyone. Peter then asks about Ned, then Aunt May, then Happy. Every new request forces Strange to alter the spell while it's already in motion. Strange becomes increasingly frustrated and warns Peter that he's making the spell unstable. But Peter keeps thinking of another person who should remember him. The spell spirals out of control. Strange is forced to contain it before it completely tears reality apart. Peter hasn't solved his problem. Instead, he has accidentally created something much bigger. Strange explains that while he was trying to control the spell, he sensed something coming through. The broken spell has begun pulling people from other universes into their world. People who know Peter Parker. People who know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Peter has no idea what Strange is talking about. But he is about to find out. Before Peter can fully understand the situation, he gets word that there may still be a chance to help his friends get into MIT. The admissions officer is traveling toward the airport, so Peter immediately rushes after her. He finds her caught in traffic on a bridge and runs toward her car. Peter desperately tries to convince her to reconsider Ned and MJ's applications. He tells her that if MIT has to punish someone, it should punish him. His friends shouldn't have to pay the price for being associated with Spider-Man. But before the admissions officer can respond, something enormous crashes into the bridge. A man with 4 mechanical arms appears. The crowd immediately panics as the mechanical limbs tear through vehicles and concrete. Peter doesn't know who this man is, but he knows one thing: people are in danger. So Spider-Man jumps into action. The man is Dr. Octopus. Otto Octavius attacks Peter, and the two begin fighting across the bridge. Peter tries to defend himself, while also keeping the trapped civilians alive. Then the admissions officer's car is knocked toward the edge. Peter swings after it and manages to catch the vehicle with his webs, holding it above the drop while Otto continues attacking him. The arms begin pulling Peter's nanotech away, but Peter quickly realizes he can use the same technology against Otto. The nanotech spreads across the mechanical arms. Peter gains control of them. Suddenly, Otto's greatest weapons are working for Spider-Man instead of against him. Peter uses the arms to overpower Otto and finally stops the attack. The MIT admissions officer is amazed. She tells Peter that he is a hero. She agrees to talk to the admissions board about Peter's friends. Peter is overjoyed, but Otto is confused. He looks at Peter and realizes something doesn't add up. This isn't the Peter Parker he knows. But then the Green Goblin arrives on the bridge and attacks. Dr. Strange uses his magic to stop him. Strange takes Dr. Octopus to the basement and locks him inside a magical cell. Strange tells Peter that because of the problems with the spell, people from other universes have been brought here. People who know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Peter is surprised. He asks how this happened. Strange explains that these people aren't simply random strangers who happen to cross into their world. They are people from different universes who have known different versions of Spider-Man before, and because the spell was built around Peter Parker's identity, they have been pulled into this reality. He tried to stop it, but more people kept coming. He has been hunting them down. One of them is the Lizard. There may be others. Strange tells Peter that he needs to catch all of them and put them inside magical cells. Then he will find a way to send them back. Peter realizes that if the MIT admissions officer sees him with these villains, MIT might cancel his friend's admission again. Strange creates a magical shooter that allows Peter to send anyone into Strange's dungeons. Peter tells Strange that he knows he caused this mess, so he will fix everything, but he needs the help of his friends in this. He calls Ned and MJ to the basement. He apologizes to them for his mistake. They tell him that they are not angry with him, but next time he makes a decision that can put the world in danger, he should definitely ask them so they can help him. Peter understands their point. Everyone starts searching for the villains on social media. Due to the recent controversy, people had made his suit very dirty. Even after trying hard, he is not able to clean the suit, so he decides to wear the suit inside out. Ned learns that there is a lot of commotion at a place outside the city. People have seen someone there. Ned thinks it must be the Green Goblin that he saw on the bridge. But Dr. Octopus says that cannot happen because the Green Goblin died many years ago. Peter ignores Octopus's words and leaves. When Peter reaches the location, he sees Electro, who is consuming electricity from power poles. Electro attacks Peter. Peter falls and tries to defend himself. But then Sandman arrives and saves Peter. Peter tells Sandman that he is not the Spider-Man from his universe. He will explain everything in time, but right now he needs help to stop Electro. Sandman traps Electro inside himself using his sand powers. Peter removes all the power poles, causing Electro's power to decrease. Electro becomes calm. Still, Electro tells them that this is not his universe. Peter uses Strange's shooter to send both Electro and Sandman to the basement. Inside the basement, Electro looks at Peter. He says that when he came to this universe, he realized that the electricity here is different. He wanted to consume the whole city. But MJ and Ned tell him that they are all in a magical prison and they cannot escape. The Green Goblin is upset with his powers. He breaks his mask and goes to Aunt May's workplace. When Peter learns about this, he immediately goes there. The Green Goblin wanted to meet Peter, but after seeing him, he is surprised. He realizes that this is not the Spider-Man from his universe. He tells Peter that he came here thinking that if he found Spider-Man, he would help him. But Peter is not the Spider-Man he knows. The Green Goblin says that sometimes he loses control of himself. He no longer exists and becomes something else. He does not understand what is happening to him. He says there must be some physical problem causing him to become this creature. Aunt May tells Peter that he should help him. But Peter says that this is not his responsibility. These villains came because of the problems with a spell. Their only option is to send them back home. Aunt May explains to Peter that he should give these people a second chance. She tells him that maybe they can be cured. Peter agrees to help. He takes the Green Goblin to the Sanctum Sanctorum. When Peter goes inside, Dr. Octopus is surprised to see the Green Goblin alive. He confesses that he was dead. Peter does not understand what is happening. Sandman tells Peter that not only the Green Goblin, but also Dr. Octopus dies fighting Spider-Man in their universe. Doctor Strange arrives and starts reversing his spell. He has a box in his hand. Peter asks him what this is. Strange tells him that it is the remains of the spell. If they activate it, the spell will be reversed, and all the villains will return to their own universes. But Peter says they should not do that because some of them will die as soon as they return. Strange tells Peter that it is their fate. No one can save someone who is destined to die. Strange begins to activate the spell. But Peter creates a distraction and runs away with the box. Strange chases him and catches Peter with his powers, causing Peter's astral form to leave his body and enter the spiritual world. Peter is surprised, but he manages to return to his body and starts running away. Doctor Strange takes him to the mirror dimension. In this dimension, everything is under Doctor Strange's control. He takes back the spell box from Peter and begins to leave through a portal, but then Peter realizes that this dimension is shaped like a geometric pattern. Using his intelligence, he overpowers Doctor Strange and leaves the mirror dimension with the sling ring and the box. Doctor Strange is stuck there without his ring. Peter gives the box and sling ring to Ned and MJ. Peter says he can save them all. If he can turn them back into normal humans, everything will change in their universes. None of them will die fighting Spider-Man. The villains accept this because they have no other option. Peter tells Ned and MJ that if any problem arises, they can activate the box and everything will be over. Peter takes them all to Happy Hogan's apartment. He shows everyone the fabricator machine, the same machine he used to make his suit in Far From Home. He starts making cures to help the villains. Green Goblin helps him. Peter explains that Dr. Octopus has a damaged chip embedded in the back of his neck, which is why he remains so angry. Peter makes the chip and places it on Dr. Octopus's neck. Dr. Octopus's anger calms down. He tells Peter that he feels very good and is not hearing any strange noises. He is very happy and returns the nanoparticles of his suit to Peter. Peter also helps Electro. He creates a device that will absorb all the electrical power inside Electro and turn him back into a normal human. Peter starts making the serum to cure the lizard, but the evil side of the Green Goblin takes over. He starts provoking everyone else, saying that their powers are not a curse but a blessing. Electro buys into his words and removes his power device from his chest. Then he takes the arc reactor from the fabricator machine and gains a lot of power. Peter tries to stop him, but Electro attacks him and throws him down. Electro starts sucking the electricity of the entire city into himself. The Green Goblin attacks Peter and beats him badly. Aunt May tries to stop the Green Goblin, but he attacks her and then throws a bomb at her. Peter rushes back to save Aunt May, but he's too late. The Goblin has already attacked and the place is in complete chaos. Peter finds May badly injured, and he immediately tries to help her. He is terrified because he knows the Goblin is responsible, and for the first time, Peter begins to realize just how badly his decision to save the villains may have gone wrong. May refuses to blame Peter. Even while she's struggling to stay on her feet, she reminds him that he was only trying to help people. Peter tries to get her somewhere safe, but May's condition keeps getting worse. Then she looks at Peter and gives him the words that will stay with him forever. With great power comes great responsibility. Peter doesn't want to believe what is happening. May collapses. Peter holds her, desperately trying to wake her up, but she doesn't respond. He screams for help, but it's too late. Aunt May is dead. Peter is completely shattered. He blames himself for bringing the villains into their world. He only wanted to save them, but now the person who raised him is gone because of that decision. Meanwhile, Happy arrives at the apartment and finds Peter standing there in shock. The police quickly surround the building, forcing Peter to escape before they can arrest him. Peter disappears into the city. He doesn't know where to go. He just wants to be alone. Ned and MJ see the entire incident on the news. They are very worried about Peter. Ned decides that MJ should activate the spell box. But then, magic starts happening with Ned's hand. He plays with the sling ring and focuses on going to Peter. He opens a portal and Peter is there. Soon they realize that this is not their Peter. It is the second Spider-Man of this story, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Spider-Man explains that he has come from another universe, but MJ does not believe it. He sticks to the wall. Then MJ says to Ned that he is called the wrong Spider-Man. This is not their Spider-Man. Ned tries again. This time the other Spider-Man comes out, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Both Spider-Men are surprised to see each other. From this, they understand that the multiverse is real. They both say that Peter Parker will need their help because now he will have to face the villains from their universes. They have to go to him. But they do not know where he is. Then MJ remembers that whenever Peter was sad, he used to go to the roof of their school. So they go there. MJ says that they have brought someone to help him. Finally, all three Spider-Men see each other face to face. Peter is very worried about himself. He says this was not Aunt May's fault, and yet she has been killed. That is why he will activate the device and send both of them and their villains back to their own universes. They will have to face them there. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man tells Peter that he had lost someone he loved and could not save her. But then he tried to control himself and remained the same friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man tells Peter that his Uncle Ben was killed. That is why he wanted the death of his murderer, and what he wanted came true. But it did not change anything. So they should help people because that is what they do. Tom Holland's Spider-Man tells them that May was fatally injured, but still, she kept saying that they did the right thing. Both Spider-Men explained to Tom Holland's Spider-Man that her sacrifice will not go in vain. What she wanted will definitely happen, and they will help him. Then everyone starts making gadgets to turn their respective villains back into humans. They plan to bring all the villains to one place. When the villains attack them, they will cure them and send them back to their universes. Tom Holland's Peter Parker explains his plan to all of them. They will gather all the villains at the Statue of Liberty because there is very little danger there. They reach the Statue of Liberty with the help of Ned's magic. Tom Holland's Spider-Man goes live and tells everyone why the villains came here. It is because of his mistake. He tells them to come to the Statue of Liberty. All three Spider-Men will fix them together. They wait there for the villain's arrival, and Electro arrives in his new look. He meets the other villains and demands that Peter give him the magic box so he can destroy it. An amazing fight breaks out between all of them. Peter gives Ned the box with the device, but he is unable to close the portal created by the sling ring. Sandman and Lizard arrive and start attacking Spider-Man. The three Spider-Men team up together. First, they trap Sandman and give him the cure, turning him back into a normal human. Then they try to cure Electro, but due to the arc reactor, he has become very powerful. The Lizard also attacks Ned and MJ due to the open portal. Seeing this, Tom Holland's Spider-Man goes to save his friends. Electro attacks the other two Spider-Men, but Dr. Octopus arrives and assists them. He catches Electro and installs the repair device on him, turning him back into a normal human. Tom Holland's Spider-Man catches the Lizard and attacks him with the serum, which cures him. Dr. Connors becomes a normal human. Ned starts opening portals to hide from the villains. He accidentally opens a portal to Doctor Strange, who comes out and takes the box to send the villains back. Ned stops him and says that Peter is working on the plan. He is making everyone back to normal humans. Doctor Strange agrees to work with Peter's plan, but then the Green Goblin attacks him and takes the box. Dr. Octopus and Strange catch the Green Goblin and snatch the box back from him. But the Goblin had placed a bomb in the box, causing it to explode. The magic goes out of control. The portal starts falling down. Doctor Strange tries to get the spell back under control. More people from all the universes who knew Peter Parker start coming into this universe. Tom Holland's Peter Parker attacks the Goblin, hitting his neck and blasting him. Both of them fall down. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man saves MJ just as she is about to fall. Peter is very angry at the Goblin because he killed Aunt May. He beats him badly and attacks him with the glider to kill him. But Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man stops him. The Goblin still does not accept defeat. He attacks Tobey Maguire, but Peter injects the serum into the Goblin, which cures him. Norman Osborn becomes normal again and regrets his actions. Meanwhile, Doctor Strange is trying to close the portal. Peter goes to him and tells him to cast the spell again. Doctor Strange tells him that it will be irreversible, but Peter is ready this time. People from other worlds are coming here. Doctor Strange tells Peter that he should say goodbye to his friends. Peter goes to Ned and MJ and tells them that after some time, they will forget who he is. But he will find them and come back to them. He will fix everything. MJ says there must be some other way. Peter says there is no other way. He promises that he will make everything right again. Doctor Strange finally casts a new spell, and everyone starts going back to their universes. Everything is back to normal. Now everyone forgets who Peter Parker was. Peter goes to meet MJ and Ned, but they have forgotten him. He wants to tell them everything, but he does not. Then he goes to Aunt May's grave, where Happy is present. But Happy is a stranger to Peter. Peter moves forward with his new life. He shifts to a new apartment, where he starts saving people's lives along with his studies, and this is where the movie ends. In the post-credit scene, we see Eddie Brock and Venom. They also know Peter Parker's true identity, and are also in the universe of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Then, they suddenly disappear and go back to their own universe. But a small part of Venom is left behind. On IMDb, the film has an average rating of 8.1 out of 10, based on over 1.1 million viewer ratings. Tell me in the comment box which next video you want to watch. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.